Hi, and welcome to our kitchen at Govinda Valley. My name is Jahnavi, and today we're going to make a lemon, coconut, cardamom drizzle cake. Yes. Now with all those flavors, we don't need a lot else going on, but I wanted to somehow amplify the coconut element. The result is a cake which is fragrant, fluffy, sticky on top, and has its own coconutty pastry base. Here are our ingredients. On this side, I've got our garnish and syrup ingredients, and here's the cake itself. For the garnish, we've got lemon, which is thinly sliced, and I've taken out the seeds. The syrup is a simple 1-to-1 sugar and lemon juice. And then, of course, we've got our beautiful cardamom pods. With the cake garnish, we've got 3 parts. We've got our lemon slices. I'm going to drop them into boiling water to soften up the skins and take some of the bitterness out. So they've just got to boil for 60 seconds. The syrup is going to make itself. I'm going to put the sugar and the juice together over heat, and that sugar has to dissolve and the syrup thickens up a little bit on its own. Here we've got whole cardamom pods. I'm going to crush these just to get the skins off. I'm just going to loosen the skins first, and then we can crush the seeds up. So you can see here the seeds have separated from the pods, so I'm just going to get rid of the outer husks, so we're left with all the flavor. Lemons have had a minute to soften. I'm going to take those out now. These are actually freshly picked from the garden. We've got lemons in season at the moment, which is nice because they're organic. So I've got the cardamom seeds here on their own now, and I'm gonna give them another bash. Oh, the fragrance is amazing. You know, cardamom is known in India as the queen of spices. Ginger's the king and cardamom's the queen, and when you smell it, you get some idea of how it got that status. It's just so special. Okay, so I've got like a coarsely cracked pepper sort of texture now, and I'm going to drop that into the syrup. So now we have a sweet lemony syrup interrupted by bursts of cardamom flavor, and our lemons are ready to go too. So now we can put the cake together, and we've got our garnish ready to go when we need it. To get a pastry base and a cake out of the same mixture, I'm going to divide our ingredients into 2 again. I'm using flour, butter, sugar, and coconut, which is a basic pastry ingredient. Mix that into a pastry. Now I'm just putting half the coconut into the base, and I'm going to keep half for the cake. Once you've got a mixture that will hold together, like so, that's when you have a pastry. Now we're going to divide this into half again. I'm going to use half for the pastry now and reserve half for our cake batter. So I've greased a tin here, and I'm going to put another sneaky layer of coconut on the bottom for a little bit more coconutty crunch. And then we just drop in our base like so, and just press that in. So once you've got an even layer of sort of sandy crumble, then you can use your fingers to press it in and make a firm pastry layer. I'm just pressing that in nice and tight to make our pastry. We've got our reserved mixture here. So remember, this is our flour, sugar, butter portion of our cake batter. Now, what else does a cake batter normally have in it? Now, we've got our little fake egg that we prepared earlier. That tapioca flour that we had, I've put half a teaspoon of tapioca flour with 1/4 cup of water. And I boiled that while whisking until a reaction takes place. This is a gel that works really well as a replacement for like egg white. So it does the same thing in the structure of a cake that egg white will. When the cake rises with the baking agent, this gel actually dries as it bakes and forms a sort of skeleton structure in the cake so that it holds it up when it's finished baking. So I'm going to put that in with the other liquids. So I have my little fake egg with our plant milk. I'm using rice milk, it doesn't really matter. And bicarb of soda. So I'm going to give that a quick mix. Oh, and our reserved coconut here for the cake. Then our liquids go in. And now we whisk that together until we get a completely new thing, a cake batter, where we had a pastry mix before. You can see what's happening here is that our solid pastry is becoming more batter-like. Just using a spatula to smooth out some of the lumps a bit further. Okay, so there we've got, magically, what looks like a regular cake batter. Our pastry is here, and now it all comes together. We've got pastry and cake and garnish. I'm going to drop these in the syrup before putting them on the cake so that they get a nice sugary coating. And there's our half garnished cake. Now I'm going to bake that, and the syrup goes on at the end after baking. Here we have our just about finished lemon coconut cake with our cardamom glaze. Now I've just nearly painted all of it on. This has a beautiful crisp edge. So we've covered all the textures here. We've got fluffy cake with coconutty base, a little bit crispy on the edge, sticky on the top, some cream on the side. I've got some sweetened coconut cream here. And there we have our finished cake ready to serve. Now, the reason why people really love this cake, it's the lemony syrup on top. It's tangy and refreshing, so it makes the cake taste really light. And it's so good.